Hello, my dear students. Welcome to Teacher at Home. Today, class, we are going to learn the sixth chapter, Struggle and Freedom. Stain of Indigo. I must confess that I did not then know even the name, much less the geographical position of Champaran, and I had hardly any more notion of indigo plantations. I had seen packets of indigo, but little dreamed that it was grown and manufactured in Champaran at the great hardship to thousands of agriculturists. Rajkumar Shukla was one of the agriculturists who had been under his harrow, and he has filled with a passion to wash away the stain of indigo for the thousands who were suffering as he had suffered. This man caught hold of me at Lucknow, where I had gone for the Congress of 1916. Brij Babu Kishore Prasad moved a resolution expressing sympathy for the people of Champaran, and it was unanimously passed. Rajkumar followed me to Kanpur and Ashram. Finally, I told him I have to be in Calcutta and from there take me to Champaran. My experiments with true Mahatma Gandhi. Through these words in his autobiography, Gandhiji details the circumstances that made him participate in the indigo farmers' protest at Champaran in Bihar in 1970. He started his social activities in India, intervening in the problems faced by the indigo farmers in Champaran. Soon he could gain the trust and recognition of the common people of India. Let us see the reason for this. Agitations he conducted in South Africa. His lifestyle as a common man, food, clothing, language. Method of struggle based on non-violence. They found in Gandhiji a savior who could solve these problems. Gandhiji reached South Africa as an advocate of an industrialist named Dada Abdullah from Gujarat. As he was traveling from Durban to Pretoria, he was pushed out of the first class compartment, saying that he had no right to travel along with the British. Within no time, he came to know the intensity of the racial discrimination experienced by the Indians in South Africa. He stayed for 21 years in South Africa, and all the time he was trying to solve the problems of the non Europeans in South Africa. Early struggles of Mahatma Gandhi. Given below are some of the regional struggles in which Gandhiji was involved after returning to India from South Africa. Struggle. The struggle of indigo farmers in Champaran, Bihar, 1970. Ahmedabad cotton mill strike, Gujarat, 1918. Peasant struggle in Kedah, Gujarat, 1918. In Champaran, Gandhiji resorted to disobedience of the British rules and satyagraha, and his involvement compelled authorities to pass laws in favor of the indigo farmers. After his struggle in Champaran, Gandhiji worked for the progress of Champaran region by establishing primary schools, initiating medical aids, and involving in cleaning activities. Cotton mill workers in Ahmedabad started their strike in 1918 when they were denied plague bonus. Gandhiji got involved in his strike and adopted the same method of protest that he used in Champaran. Following his satyagraha, the authorities agreed to hike the wages of the employees and the strike came to an end. Due to drought and crop failure, farmers in Kedah were living in utter misery. Rulers decided to collect tax from the poor villagers. Starting Satyagraha in 1918, Gandhiji protested against the decision. He advised people not to pay tax. Consequently, the authorities were forced to reduce tax rates. His early struggles based on Satyagraha and Ahimsa made Gandhiji a popular leader. Let's find the results of the early struggles that Gandhiji took up in India. Struggles he got up popularized his ideologies and method to protest. Till his entry into the political scenario, national movement was confined to the educated section of the society. His method to protest attracted the laymen of his movement. A city-centric national movement spread to rural areas. Gandhi became a national leader acceptable to all strata of the society. Towards the national movement, Gandhiji ended the Indian national movement with his protests against the Rowlatt Act. In the pretext of preventing extremist activities, a British Parliament passed the Rowlatt Act in 1919 limiting the civil rights. As per this act, any person could be arrested and imprisoned without trial. Plague bonus. Plague outbreak of 1917 in Ahmedabad killed 10% of the city population. During this time, The laborers were given a bonus up to 80% of their wages to prevent laborers from quitting the job for fear of plague. The system was helpful for the laborers to survive the inflation during the First World War. When the plague threat was over, this bonus was withdrawn and the labor started agitation against it. Gandhiji on the screen. 8 Oscar Award winning film, Gandhi, directed by Richard Attenborough, is a visual depiction of the Gandhian period in our freedom struggle. Similarly, the moving making of Mahatma by the Sham Benegal visualizes South African life of Gandhiji. Apart from this, the number of documentaries and films related to Gandhiji have been produced. Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. People gathered at Jallianwala Bagh Massacre in Amritsar on 13th April 1919 to protest against the arrest of Saifuddin Kichlu and Satyabal, who led the anti-Rowlatt Act agitation in Punjab. City was under the control of the army. Accusing that the protesters violated his instruction, Army Chief Central Dyer ordered to shoot without warning. Innocent armless people were trapped as the ground was surrounded by buildings and the only entrance was blocked by the armed British soldiers. As per the British records, shooting of 10 minutes killed 379 protesters. In fact, the death toll was actually double this. Massacre at Jallianwala Bagh intensified the protest at the national level. Gandhiji said, if the Battle of Plassey laid the foundation for the British rule, Gandhiji, Jallianwala Bagh shook the foundation. Non-cooperation and Khilafat movement. First national level struggle by the Indian National Congress under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi was the non-cooperation movement. Confidence gained from the anti-Rowlatt protest motivated Gandhiji to declare non-cooperation against the British. Let's see the characteristics of non-cooperation policy adopted by Mahatma Gandhi. Given below are some of the examples of how the Indian society responded to Gandhiji's appeals for non-cooperation. Farmers in Awadh refused to pay taxes. The tribal groups in northern Andhra entered the forest and collected the forest produces, violating the forest laws. Farmers in Uttar Pradesh refused to carry the luggage on the colonial officials. Workers struck work. Lawyers boycotted courts. Students quitted colleges and schools run by the British. Public, including women, burned foreign clothes on the streets. Non-cooperation movement. Students shall boycott English schools. Lawyers shall boycott courts. The public shall boycott foreign products. Boycott elections. Returning the British awards and prizes. Denial of taxes. In addition to this appeal for non-cooperation, Gandhiji motivated the people to participate in constructive programs. Inspired by this, people began to make indigenous products, spin khadi, cloth using charka, establish national schools and popularize Hindi, Kashi Vidyavid Gujarat, Vidyavid Jamia Millia are some of the national educational institutions started during this time. Students who boycotted English education were attracted to national educational institutions. During the same period, Maulana Muhammad Ali and Maulana Shaukat Ali intensified the activities of Khilafat movement. By declaring the Khilafat movement as a part of Indian national movement, Gandhiji ensured active participation of Muslims in the freedom struggle. He traveled across India with Khilafat leaders and propagated his ideology. As a result, anti-British feeling spread to the nook and corner of the nation. Hindu-Muslim unity was intensified. The Khilafat movement. After the First World War, Britain tried to limit the power of Khalifa, the ruler of Turkey and the spiritual leader of world Muslims. The worldwide protest against this is called the Khilafat movement. In response to the police firing at a mob at Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh, the villagers set ablaze the police station and 22 policemen died. This incident disappointed Gandhiji, so he called for stopping Purna Swaraj and civil disobedience. The Lahore session of the Indian National Congress, held in 1929 under the chairmanship of Jawaharlal Nehru, was a turning point in the history of freedom movement in India. The session declared that the ultimate aim of Indian freedom struggle was to attain complete freedom, Purna Swaraj for the country. It also resolved to start the civil disobedience movement under the leadership of Gandhiji. With the civil disobedience, Gandhiji meant to disobey all anti-popular and anti-democratic civil laws made by the British government. As a part of this movement, Gandhiji proposed the following: to lift salt tax, to declare 50% tax relaxation for farmers, to increase the tax on imported foreign clothes, to release political prisoners, to cut short military budget and high salary of top officials, to dissolve the secret surveillance wing formed to watch Indians, to start coastal shipping service, to implement prohibition of liquor. Let's examine the reason why he selected salt as a powerful weapon against the British. Salt tax constituted two-fifth portion of the income collected by the British through taxes. This tax was a heavy burden of the poor people. The British government banned small-scale indigenous salt production. There was threefold hike on salt price. The demand for lifting salt tax was a slogan suitable to inspire all segments of the society. Explaining the strength of the civil disobedience movement, he said, supposing 10 persons from each of the 7 lakh villages in India come forward to manufacture salt and disobey the Salt Act, what do you think the government can do? Even the worst autocrat you can imagine would not dare to blow regiments of peaceful civil resistors out of cannon's mouth. If only you will bestir yourselves just a little, I assure you we shall be able to tire the government out in a very short time. Gandhiji. A British government convened at James Palace in London 3 roundtable conference 1930, 31 and 32 to discuss the administrative reforms to be implemented in India. Representing Indian National Congress, Gandhiji attended the second roundtable conference. Inspired by the call of Gandhiji, people in various parts of the country started to produce salt on their own, violating the British regulations. Payyanur in Kerala, Vedaranyam in Tamil Nadu, Bombay in Maharashtra, Noakhali in Bengal, and Northwest Frontier Province were some of the centers of this protest. As part of the protest, volunteers made salt and distributed it to the public, hoisted national flag, and chanted anti-British slogans. The British police severely tortured. A team of volunteers, led by Sarojini Naidu, had set out to Darashana salt field in Gujarat. Gandhi was arrested and the movement was suppressed callously. British quit India. Here is mantra, a short one that I gave you. You may imprint it on your hearts and let every breath of yours give expression to it. The mantra is do or die. We shall either free India or die in the attempt. We shall not live to see the perpetuation of our slavery. Gandhiji. This was the call of Gandhiji in the conference of the National Congress held in Bombay in 1942. Quit India movement was the last popular protest organized by the Indian National Congress under the leadership of Gandhiji. Quit India was set in other popular movements like the civil disobedience movement. It was a mass movement based on the ideology of non-violence, meant to force the British to leave the country, offering complete freedom to Indians. Let us examine some factors that caused Quit India movement. Reluctance of the British to implement constitutional reforms in India, public disgust with price hike and famine, assumption that the British would be defeated in the Second World War. As part of this movement, Gandhiji called for the following: princely states shall recognize the sovereignty of their people, farmers shall not pay land tax, government officials shall disclose their loyalty to Indian National Congress without resigning their positions, without quitting their positions in the army, soldiers shall disobey orders to shoot and kill Indians. If possible, students shall boycott education till attaining freedom. British government suppressed the movement very severely and arrested leaders including Mahatma Gandhi. In protest, the uncontrolled mob demolished government offices, electric lines and transportation facilities. At the end of 1942, India was under the fire of popular unrest. The Quit India movement was a clear indication of the people's determination to grab freedom for their country. Alternative path. To sound the order of retreat, just when public enthusiasm was reaching the boiling point, was nothing short of national calamity. The principal lieutenants of the Mahatma, Deshabandhu Das, Pandit Motilal Nehru, and Lala Lajpat Rai, who were all in prison, shared the popular resentment. I was with the Deshabandhu at that time and could see that he was beside himself with anger and sorrow at that way. Mahatma Gandhi was repeatedly bungling. Subhash Chandra Bose. This is how Subhash Chandra Bose responded to Gandhiji's decision to withdraw the non-cooperation movement following the Chauri Chaura incident. Many such movements and persons who had differences of opinion towards the Gandhian approach to the struggle for independence also played crucial roles in attaining freedom for our country. Objective was also nothing but India's freedom from colonial clutches. Siadas and Motilal Nehru, who opposed Gandhian idea in boycott movement, formed the Swaraj Party in 1923. They argued for making legislative assemblies as platform for raising our voices instead of boycotting them, and they contested elections. Gradually, the opposition of the Gandhian method of struggle intensified. Revolutionaries from Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar gathered in Delhi and formed the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association in 1928. Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Rajguru, Sukhdeva were at the helm of this movement. They floated a military wing called Republican Army for Armed Revolution. Their plan was to overthrow the colonial government through military action and establish a Federal Republic of Indian states. In Lahore, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev shot to kill Saunders, the police officer who are responsible for the Lathi charge that had led to the death of the national leader Lala Lajpat Rai. Bhagat Singh and Bhubaneswar Dutt threw bombs at the Central Legislative Assembly to protest against the attempt to pass laws curtailing civil rights. They were arrested and sent to jail. On March 23, 1931, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev were hanged to death by the British government. Given below are the names of some revolutionary organizations and their leaders who dedicated their life to attaining freedom for India. Abhinav Bharat Society, V.D. Savarkar, Anushīlan Samiti, Barindra Kumar Ghosh, Pulin Bihari Das, Gadda Party, Lala Hardayal, Indian Republican Army, Surya Sen. Taking cue from the Russian Revolution, socialist ideologies started to spread the Indian in 1930s, and these ideas influenced a section of Congress activities. Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jai Narayan, M. Prakash, Aruna Asif Ali led to the Congress Socialist fraction within the Indian National Congress. At a meeting held under the chairmanship of Jayaprakash Narayanan in Bombay in 1934, the Congress Socialist Party was formed. This new organization played a decisive role in Quit India movement. Gandhiji and other top leaders of the Congress were arrested. Socialist Party leaders like Jayaprakash Narayanan, Aruna Asif Ali led to the movement from their hideouts. Various stages of the national movement, Subhash Chandra Bose expressed his difference of opinion on Gandhian ideas of struggle. Quitting the Congress, he formed a political party called Forward Bloc. He took the charge of the Indian National Army, formed by Rash Bihari Bose to attain freedom of India. He formed a professional government for free India in Singapore with the aim of forcing the British to quit India. Indian National Army had a women wing called the Jhansi Regiment. Captain Lakshmi, a Keralite, was in charge of the regiment. With the support of the Japanese Army, the Indian National Army marched to the east-west border of India and hoisted Indian national flag in Imphal. Vanji Iyer is the first martyr of freedom struggle in South India. He shot Tirunelveli district collector Robert William Descott on 17 July 1911 in Maniachi railway station in Tamil Nadu in retaliation of the collector's callous torturing of freedom fighters. Iyer committed suicide on the same spot to escape from the British police. Praising Iyer, Madam Kama wrote in her publication Vande Mataram on July 11, the shots that Vanji fired did help arouse a slave nation from the century, old slumbering. Movement of workers and peasants. The socialist ideology spread among the Indians after the Russian Revolution led to the formation of various labor and peasant movements in India. Following are the earliest labor unions in India. Ahmedabad Textile Association, Madras Labor Union, 1920 All India Trade Union Congress was formed under the leadership of N.M. Joshi and Lala Lajpat Rai. IRTC had three main objectives: to organize and act as a working class, to facilitate in the National Congress Indian working class to cooperate with the working class outside India, to participate actively in the Indian freedom struggle. Because of the tax law of the British, severe exploitation of the zamindars and the low price of agriculture producers, Indian farmers realized the importance of an organized struggle and started peasant movements. All India Kisan Congress, which was later called the All India Kisan Sabha, was formed in Lahore by the efforts of the leaders like R.G. Ranga. A farmer's manifesto which included all the basic demands of Indian peasants were prepared in the All India Kisan Samiti conference held in Bombay. Given below are some of the demands included in the manifesto. Some of the demands. A farmer's manifesto with all the basic demands are reduce 50% of land tax and lease charge, right of debts, cancel feudal taxes, ensure minimum wage for agriculture workers, recognize peasant unions, organization of laborers and farmers, and their subsequent protests energized in the national movement. Their policy of equally opposing the imperialist policies of the British government as well as the feudal system that existed in India triggered agitations and revolts in various parts of the country. Agitation. Tebaga struggle, Bengal. Telangana struggle, Andhra Pradesh. Naval mutiny, Mumbai. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan was a national leader who strongly opposed the dual nation theory and partition. The partition hurt Khan, who led countless agitations in the northwest frontiers. This stalwart of Indian freedom struggle, who tried his best for Hindu-Muslim unity, is famously known as the Frontier Gandhi. Government of India honored him with Bharat Ratna. Towards independence, the Second World War led to the collapse of imperialism the world over. Consequently, the financial crisis, Britain lost its capacity to maintain colonies, intensified freedom struggles in the continents of Asia and Africa on one hand, and American Soviet policy against colonization on the other. Forced the British to free India from their clutches. The new British government that came to power under the Labour Party, led by Clement Attlee, sympathizer to India, also expedited over independence from colonial rule. Meanwhile, the All India League, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, raised claims for a separate country called Pakistan. Following this, Lord Mountbatten was appointed as the Viceroy of India to deliver freedom of India, addressing the question of partition. He argued that freedom for India was impossible without partition, and to support this argument, he prepared a strategy called Mountbatten Plan. His proposals were as follows: to form a separate country in Muslim majority area as per the Muslims' wish, to divide Punjab and Bengal, to conduct a referendum to determine whether to add Northwest Frontier Province to Pakistan or not, to appoint a commission to determine the borders in Punjab and Bengal. While the Congress and All India League approved this plan, the nationalists like Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan vehemently opposed it. In 1947, when the British Parliament passed the Indian Independence Act, two free nations, India and Pakistan, came into existence. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of independent India. So far, we have discussed how Indian freedom struggle became a popular national movement. Gandhian played a major role in the process. Alternative to this method of struggle also significantly contributed to our independence. In short, the freedom we attained on 15th August 1947 is the outcome of Indian national movement inspired by various streams of ideas and ideologies. Regional struggles. Indigo farmers strike at Champaran, cotton mill workers strike at Ahmedabad, farmers strike at Kedah. National struggle. Non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, quit India movement. Salt Satyagraha, Darasan strike. Alternative path, Swaraj Party, socialist movement, revolutionary movement, labor unions and peasant movements. So that's all about this chapter. If you are interested, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.